Today, Alexander and I are here to talk to you about introduction of solids with your infants. So most babies around 6 months are ready to start solids. Signs of readiness that you might see with a baby when they're ready to start solids is they're holding up their head, they're reaching for food, they're opening up their mouth when they see food, and maybe they're leaning forward towards that food. You always want to make sure that you have a baby in a high chair when you're feeding them and sitting directly in front of them and watching for those feeding cues. When a baby's done eating, you want to make sure that you stop feeding them because they know when they're hungry and they know when they're full. So if they start to turn their head away or kind of lean back or push the spoon away, that's when you know that a baby's done. So the first foods that you want to offer a baby are the iron-rich foods because babies that are full term, around 6 months, are losing their iron stores. So they need to replenish that iron. So some examples here that I have out are your infant cereals that are good sources of iron, but also your meat, fish, chicken, eggs, peanut butter. Those are all great, as well as beans and lentils are all great sources of iron. There's really no order of introduction after that. So introducing vegetables and fruits, a variety of vegetables and fruits is also important because the vitamin C content of them helps the body to absorb the iron better. So once you've introduced your iron-rich foods, then maybe adding, some pureed banana or pureed apples or some pureed carrots, sweet potato, peas, pureed avocado, and then moving your textures along quickly. So if a baby is doing really well with a smooth puree, then you want to move them on to something a little bit more lumpy and chunky, and then maybe eventually you're going to be moving them on to minced or grated type things. And then by 12 months, they really should be eating a variety of your family foods. With the milk products, we're getting a lot of questions about those. And milk products are just fine once the iron-rich foods are introduced. So things like grated cheese or plain yogurt. You just want to avoid foods that have the added sugar and added salt in them. And of course, we don't want to be providing babies with artificial sweeteners either. At around 9 to 12 months, a baby's ready for cow's milk. So breast milk or infant formula is still going to be your primary source of nutrition around that 6 months, but they'll gradually decrease the amount of that the more that they're eating. And then around that 9 to 12 months, then homogenized, so 3.25% cow's milk can be introduced and then continued to 2 years. But we do encourage breastfeeding even up to 2 years and beyond. We're also getting some questions about the baby lead weaning. And I know on social media there's lots of talk about that. And really, due to lack of studies, there's really no recommendations for or against baby lead weaning. One of the primary concerns with that is that we have a concern that babies aren't able to feed themselves the iron-rich foods or handle the texture of the whole iron-rich foods. So we want to make sure they're getting those first, and then maybe a modified baby lead weaning where you're offering the texture appropriate foods and allowing the baby to feed themselves certain types of foods. With the highly allergenic foods, so things like peanut butter, eggs, we want to introduce those actually right away. So in infants that don't have a family history of allergies, we want to make sure that those foods are introduced right away, and then they're introduced on a regular basis after that to maintain the tolerance. If there is a family history of allergies, we want to make sure that you're consulting with a healthcare professional before you are introducing those more highly allergenic foods. So have a blast introducing solids to your infants. It's been lots of fun at our house. So if you have any questions, for more information, you can go to Healthy Parents, Healthy Children. You can also go to Dietitians of Canada for credible nutrition information. Thanks and have a great day.